Philippines on Friday, March 26, reaches a grim milestone as active COVID-19 cases breaches the 100,000 mark. The Health Department reports a record high 9,838 new COVID-19 infections, bringing the total cases in the country to 702,856. Of these, 109,018 cases are active. Despite the spike, the country's pandemic task force will now allow religious gatherings once a day from April 1 to 4, with 10% church capacity. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque on Friday, March 26, says this is in response to the request of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines. Earlier this week, 2 Catholic bishops criticized the government for not consulting religious sectors on its ban of religious gatherings within the NTR Plus bubble from March 22 to April 4. The Commission on Higher Education also approves limited face-to-face classes in 23 colleges and universities for the second semester of the academic year 2020 to 2021. CHED Chairperson Prospero de Vera III says these schools have fully complied with the guidelines of the Commission and the DOH. Meantime, the Health Department says COVID-19 medicines like remdesivir and tocilizumab are running low as cases spike. Although there is still no approved treatment for COVID-19, the DOH says the use of these drugs are allowed under the Compassionate Use Permit of the Food and Drug Administration. In October 2020, a study backed by the WHO said that remdesivir appeared to have little or no effect on hospitalized COVID-19. The data contradicts at least 2 major U.S. studies that showed remdesivir can reduce the duration of hospital stays for COVID-19 patients. Staying healthy and avoiding illness tops the list of urgent personal concerns of Filipinos. A survey from the Octa Research Group says a total of 65% or 6 in 10 adult Filipinos list staying healthy and avoiding illness as their top choice when asked about their 3 most urgent concerns. Staying healthy is also the highest concern of Filipinos across all socioeconomic classes. Meanwhile, 5 in 10 Filipinos say having a secure and well-paying job is their second most urgent concern. The third most urgent concern of Filipinos is to avoid being a victim of any serious crime, according to 4 out of 10 respondents in the survey. The Octa Research Group conducted the survey from January 26 to February 1 through face-to-face interviews of 1,200 Filipinos aged 18 and above. Pope Francis on Thursday, March 25, names Cardinal Advincula of Capiz as the 33rd Archbishop of Manila. This ends a year-long wait for the new head of the most powerful diocese in the Philippines. 68-year-old Advincula succeeds Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, who is now the prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples in the Vatican. Church watchers have dubbed Advincula the Cardinal from the peripheries. Advincula is a low-profile bishop whose appointment as cardinal in late 2020 surprised predominantly Catholic Philippines, which expected the Pope to name a more prominent prelate as the Prince of the Catholic Church. Experts said the Pope wanted a cardinal from the peripheries, in line with his goal to make the Catholic Church closer to the poor. The European Union, Canada, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom are the latest to slam China for its recent actions in the South China Sea. Putting up a united front, the nations issued statements of concern just days after the United States, Australia, and Japan called out destabilizing actions that could undermine peace and stability in the region. On Thursday, March 25, European Union Ambassador to the Philippines, Luc Vernon, says the regional bloc cannot allow countries to unilaterally undermine the rule of law in the South China Sea. British Foreign Minister Nigel Adams had a conversation with Philippine Foreign Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin. He says the UK shares the Philippines' concerns in the South China Sea, including actions which raise tensions there. Canadian Ambassador to the Philippines Peter MacArthur issues a statement saying Canada opposes China's actions that undermine regional stability and the rules-based international order. New Zealand also echoes calls to uphold the rule of law in the South China Sea, expressing support for the landmark 2016 Hague ruling the Philippines won against China. China hits back at the countries denouncing its actions, accusing the diplomats of making irresponsible comments and stating wrong facts. Beijing earlier insisted around 220 Chinese fishing vessels near the Julian Felipe Reef are taking shelter from rough sea conditions. In response, the Philippine military beefs up its presence around the reef. The Julian Felipe Reef lies within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. Pop superstar Taylor Swift releases a new song, You All Over Me, as part of the upcoming new version of her 2008 album Fearless. The previously unreleased track sees Swift returning to her country roots with a distinct acoustic arrangement and narrative lyrics. The re-recording of Fearless is part of Swift's efforts to gain control of her back catalog, the masters of which are now owned by private equity firm Shamrock Holdings after a controversial sale by music mogul Scooter Braun. Fearless, Taylor's version, will be released on April 9.